This week on the Digital Coffee, Twitter shops are coming to a profile near you soon. Instagram is going to double the length of Instagram Reels, and you could soon be checking out on a website using Facebook Pay. All that and more after this. Good morning, and welcome to the Digital Coffee. This is your weekly dose of digital marketing and social media news for small business. My name is Amanda Webb. If this is your first time joining, and if you are watching on Facebook, if you leave me a comment, I will send you a copy of the Digital Coffee newspaper, which contains all the stories and some further reading so that you can go back to it in your own time. If you're watching on YouTube, I've pinned that as a comment to the chat, and it's also in the description. And we have a question of the week. I can see we've got answers already. The question of the week, and it is related to a news story that we're going to talk about today, is how much do you dislike the sound of your own voice? And I can see that Ian Anderson Gray, hey Ian, is saying he used to really dislike it and now he's just about okay with it. I know that feeling. Actually, now these days, I think I've got so used to hearing my own voice, it just sounds like somebody else's voice. I've got used to it. Now, Riona says she doesn't mind her own voice at all, which is fabulous. So good to hear that not everyone has that hang up. I'm really glad to hear that. And Ian is saying, so Instagram Reels will be the same length as TikTok. You'll have to wait to see the answer to that. One more thing before we get on to the news. If you're around at 10:30 a.m. on Twitter, we have a follow-up audio space. So if you want to come and discuss these topics, tell me what you think about them. If you don't want to just hear my opinion, join me and Making Zhang on Twitter at 10:30 a.m. And if you go to Twitter, I have pinned that to the top of my profile. So come and join in the discussion then as well. But let's talk news.
Hey, it's Andy at Content Cal here, and you're watching the Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Well, there's good news for retailers this week because there's going to be another place that you can promote your products, and that place is Twitter. It's Twitter. Twitter are working on adding Twitter shops to those new business profiles. Now, we know they're rolling out these business profiles. Some people have them, not many people have them. But in the United States, they're testing this. They're testing this shopping module at the top of your profile. And what this will be, it will be a carousel of products that people will be able to scroll through. They'll be able to click in to find out more about the product that they like. And if they want to buy, they'll be able to buy it within Twitter, but within a browser. So it will still go to your website in the Twitter browser, so people can complete the whole transaction without leaving the app. So two things came to mind when I heard about this. Firstly, I know there are a lot of retailers on Twitter, and I know they're doing fine with your regular tweets, but will people actually want to use shops? Do people actually want to see shops on Twitter? I know it's something they have to do because, all the social networks are doing shops now. So it's probably something they feel like they need to do. And it could, of course, be another revenue stream for them. But I'm just not convinced that Twitter is a place where I'm going to buy something. I could be totally wrong. Also, then, I'm wondering if the fact that it all happens within the app in Twitter's own browser will bypass some of those issues that we have with privacy now since the iOS 14 update and, a lot of browsers having their own privacy settings. Obviously, if you're buying within Twitter's browser, you won't need to worry about other people's browser settings and blocking cookies. They'll be able to see if somebody buys directly after clicking into that shop. And also some of the iOS 14 updates. I'm wondering if that browser opens within the Twitter app, will the iOS 14 update be nullified? Obviously only if they buy it on the spot, not if they come back and buy it later. And I'm wondering now, Does that apply to all the social networks that have shops appearing in their browsers? I'm not sure about the iOS 14 update, but definitely those browsers that are specific to the social networks, although they tend to be a little slower, maybe the measurement will be better. Do let me know what you know. Do let me know what you think. Would you buy on Twitter? I'm interested. I know I do buy on Twitter when I see tweets from people, but would I go to a shop? Would I browse on Twitter? Would you? That's what I'd like to know. I can see we've got some comments, which is Ian says, I've not looked into Twitter business profiles. Do you know if you can convert our profiles into a business profile? As it would be a good thing. So they're brand new and they're only slowly rolling out. So you won't have this option yet. But yes, you will be able to convert your existing profile into a business profile, much like you can on Instagram. And it's going to give you additional information you'll be able to add that are part of being a business. So I think that's quite exciting. Ian says he's never bought a product via a social network. Well, I have. Maybe I'm just a sucker. Who knows?
Hi, I'm Carmel Siri and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Are 30 seconds or is 30 seconds long enough to get your point across in a video? It can be a bit of a stretch if you want to make your point particularly compelling. It can be a tight squeeze to get it into 30 seconds. I know, I've tried. And I can be quite concise if I want to. And yeah, it's tough. And what usually happens is, one, you just say whatever it is that you want to say and you get cut off at the end, and you don't make it interesting, you don't make it compelling, or you talk really fast so that you can get it all into the 30 seconds. These are the things that happen. And Instagram have announced this week that they are going to extend the length of Instagram Reels from a maximum of 30 seconds, which it is at the moment, to 60 seconds, which isn't quite, because TikTok just extended theirs to 3 minutes, but 60 seconds makes far more sense to me because it gives you a little bit more time to say what you want. I do a trailer for this show every week. I try to keep it under 30 seconds, but it may come out at 31 or 32, which just makes it so much easier. Now, of course, there are problems with extending the length of a video. For one, having a restriction can make you more creative. I know we've got Ian on this call. He does some fabulous reels, which him singing. I don't think they need to be a minute long. I think they work at 30 seconds. And I've got a feeling that having that restriction makes you think about ways that you can be more creative with your video. On the other hand, normal Instagram videos that you put in the feed, 60 seconds long. You can put a 60-second video up into Instagram stories and it snips it up into various story elements, but 60 seconds is the maximum. So it makes sense that they would make reels 60 seconds long. And it makes sense that, it's not so long that you're going to be long and rambling, but it's long enough to say what you need to say in a compelling way. I do hope that people don't use this as an excuse to ramble, that they do stay on point, but I do think it is going to be effective. And of course, that means that it's going to be easier for you to repurpose videos. You can repurpose your reels into your feed better. You can repurpose them into stories, but you can also use other videos and repurpose them into Instagram from maybe YouTube Shorts, which are 60 seconds, or more from TikTok, although we know Instagram doesn't like you sharing TikTok into Reels. So interested to see what people come up with that. I can see I've got lots of comments here. Here's Making. Don't forget, 10:30 a.m. You can join myself and Making to talk about the news from this week and our take on it, and your take if you join in. We'll be missing Dan this week because he's babysitting. Lots of food for thought regarding privacy in light of the Twitter shopping feature. Yeah, and you know what? I could be talking bunkum, but I'm going to be interested to see what happens. Good morning to Deirdre. Great to see you here, Deirdre. Lots of comments from Ian. Do you remember Vine? I remember Vine. 6 seconds. I loved Vine. I loved messing with Vine. I wasn't a big Viner, but I loved messing with Vine. And Has TikTok extended the time limit already? Yes, 3 minutes now. It's rolling out to everyone. I'm not sure because I don't post videos to TikTok. I'm not sure if I have it, but as far as I know, everyone should have it really soon. Good morning, Ginny. Lots of developments this week, more than I'm going to get time to talk about today as well. I had to bump quite a few stories. Great to see you here, Ginny. Right, what's next?
Hi, I'm Kyra Fingleton from Glamping Under the Stars, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
If you don't have a quick way that people can check out on your website, you could be losing sales, particularly if what you sell is an impulse buy. You know, if I want to buy something and then I realize that my credit card is in my bag in the other room, am I going to walk away, get my credit card, rifle around in my bag, get distracted by the cats? There's less chance that I'm going to buy, particularly I think for impulse purchases. And, you know, websites deal with this already. They deal with it by, you know, using PayPal or using Apple Pay on their sites. But there is a new payment system in town, or there will be soon. Facebook is testing their Facebook Pay system in the United States on Shopify websites, which will give people the option to check out using Facebook Pay. Now, if you're not in one of the regions that is, you know, Facebook Pay friendly, you may not be aware of this, but Facebook Pay is a peer-to-peer payment system. So you can send money to your friends on Facebook using Facebook Pay. And that's pretty much all it does at the moment. But this will expand it so that you will be able to pay businesses. So two things. Firstly, I think it's good to give people more options. You know, people don't necessarily like PayPal. I know a lot of people that won't use PayPal, or they might not have a smartphone, or they may not want to use Apple Pay or one of those. So Facebook Pay is just going to give more options, and the easier it is for somebody to check out, the better. You know, if I'm on my phone and it's Apple Pay, I'm absolutely delighted because I just need to click a couple of buttons to pay. The other thing is, why would Facebook do this? You know, what is it? Well, they can't rely on just their advertising forever to pay the bills. And we've seen innovations like Facebook Shops, Facebook paid events, all of which will be additional revenue streams for Facebook. And now they're trying to take over the world even more by getting into payments. And this will give them another stream. It does give me a little bit of fear because I've talked about this before, the WeChatification of Facebook. If Facebook just becomes the way that we do everything in our lives, it has way too much control on what we do. So although I welcome this for retailers that may get extra sales because they're making it easier for people to pay, I am a little bit fearful. Good morning to Kate. Hi, Kate. I haven't asked everyone what they're drinking this morning yet. As you know, 2 cups of tea, no coffee yet. Waiting for my coffee when I finish this show. Do let me know what's in your cup. Is it tea or coffee or something else? And while you're doing that, let's move on to the next news story.
Hi, I'm Charlie Lawrence and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
Pinterest has been working so hard over the last few years at becoming the place for e-commerce shoppers. You know, Pinterest has really been innovating in these areas, the way you can find products, the way that you can discover products, the way that you can buy products. It's integrated with Shopify. It is the big player, or it wants to be the big player in shopping. Sure, it was doing this stuff before anyone else. And if you're in one of the regions which really does embrace Pinterest, so the United States or the United Kingdom, you have enough users that they have rolled out shopping to you. Sadly, in Ireland, we don't have that yet. We don't. This week, they've rolled out some new things to help you get discovered more as a shop. And this is creator tagging. Now, as you know, if you watch this show regularly, creator is a code word for influencer. That's what they mean. So creators on Pinterest may save pins or create pins, and now they will be able to tag those pins just like you do on Instagram and Facebook But with products, any product in a Pinterest shop, any shoppable pin, they will be able to tag within that, which means, of course, that is far more reach and far more engagement for the businesses that have shoppable pins. From the creator's point of view, they are talking about, they mentioned it in the announcement, they are talking about affiliates, but it's not clear how this will work. Is that going to be facilitated by Pinterest? Is it outside affiliates that creators will be able to sign up for? I think this is great news. Plus, they're adding their promotional content. Let me look at what it's called, paid partnership tag. You know, we've seen these on Facebook and Instagram, where if you're collaborating with a business, you tag that business, and that will mean that businesses will be able to see that the sales are coming from them. And it will also mean disclosure. It will mean that, you know, if this is a paid partnership, the people looking at that pin will know that. So it's interesting. Still, Ireland hasn't caught up on Pinterest. If you are in the UK, which I know a lot of you are, do let me know, are you a Pinterest user? I think there is a real niche there. I think Pinterest is really carving its own space in retail, and there is a niche for those people that are really lifestyle, fashion, beauty. You know, there is a lot of inspiration that those people will find and use on Pinterest. So I do think there is a total opening for this to work. So, good morning. Oh, great to see you, Unaming. No, it's no long time no see. Great to see you. I also reluctant to give Facebook my card details. Well, there's the other thing, isn't it? Yes, I don't blame you, to be honest. Good morning, Katie, who's drinking Earl Grey. Great to see you here this week, Katie. Thanks for your comment on Instagram this week, because I'm not much of an Instagrammer, so I was delighted. Hi, Roy. Morning from windy Devon. Today you'll be mainly drinking fruit teas. Oh, how healthy. And good morning to Ev, who's drinking tea as well. Do let me know. Question of the week, if I can put it back on screen again, let me just scroll up. How much do you dislike the sound of your own voice? I want to know. It is related to a story, so we'll cover that shortly. Right, time to look at what's up next.
Hello, this is Rob Charles, the voice of Mike on Forever FM on Peter Kay's Car Share. BAFTA award winning, I've got to say, but I've not seen the BAFTA yet. Anyway, you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Enjoy. I'm on tea. Shh.
How do you improve the conversations that happen on Twitter? And how do you make sure that the best replies to those conversations, the best parts of those conversations get showcased? Well, Twitter are working on a new tool, some of you may have it already, where users will be able to up or down vote comments or replies to a tweet. The upside of this, I think, is sometimes, you know, a popular tweet might get hundreds of replies, and it could be comment number 88 that is a really good reply, that really helps people out, that is a really good answer to the question. But most people aren't going to get down to reply number 88. Most people will read the first 10 or so and then maybe move on to the next thing. So the beauty of the up and down commenting is there is a chance to surface those tweets. The downside, of course, is this could just end up being abused, because if people are having an argument about one of those hot topics, those polarizing topics that you see discussed on all social media, not just Twitter, people could use it, weaponize it. They will all be upvoting the comment that they think is the most relevant and downvoting the one that they think isn't. It could start an up and down comment war. I do think it could be a good way for those who aren't having arguments, who I tend to scroll by very fast on Twitter, to actually have better conversations and get more involved in those conversations, even if they're coming to it very late in the day. It's going to be interesting to see how it evolves, how it's used, and how Twitter deal with that abuse problem. So what do you think? Good idea? Bad idea? Terrible idea? Gosh, so many of you watching today. Let's see. Roy says, Oh, that's the wrong comment. Sorry, here we go. I cannot listen back to my own voice. And you know that I think that is so common. I remember the first time I heard my voice, I've been a bit weird for my entire life. And when I was a kid, I decided I was going to start up my radio station with, one of those tape recorders. Anyone that's over 40 will probably remember the tape recorders where you'd press record and play at the same time to record. And you'd have to stop and then... So basically that was my radio station, no microphone, just that. And I remember the first time I heard my voice back, I was like, oh, that's not even me. But as I said earlier, it does get easier over time. Exposure to your own voice really helps you get over it, as painful as it can seem to be. Katie says that she's working on improving her speaking voice and practicing my warm-up exercises. Well, that's good as well. I feel my voice is a little stilted today, but I do some random voice exercises before I start so that I sound a bit more energetic than that I'm at when I start the show. So that's always a good tip. Thank you, Katie. Good morning to Simon, who is drinking property Lion's tea. You see, I'm a Barry's girl. If you're only people in Ireland will know what we're talking about, but just know Simon is wrong. You hate your own voice, which is tough as I'm doing radio producing course. You're presently doing a presenting course. Well, it will get easier, Simon. Don't worry. Deirdre, Facebook is trying to become the big business that controls every aspect of its user's life. Formerly amusing but scary sci-fi concept is becoming a way of life. I knew you'd love that update. I knew Deirdre. I thought Deirdre's going to love this one. And I agree, that is what WeChat does in China. It is a part of your everyday life. It owns your everyday life. And I think we have to be a little bit careful of that. May King says she's a big fan of Twitter's downvoting button, interested to see if it's misused on polarizing discussions. That's always the worry, isn't it? And Katie, I did that being a DJ with a cassette tape when I was little too. Good, it's not just me. It was practice for doing this. That's what it was all about. Una Ming says people will definitely have up and down vote wars. I'd rather they rejected the heart system so that the more hearts the user got, the higher it was featured. No down votes, as it encourages potential trolls. Yeah, you know what? I agree. I think the heart is the wrong symbol, but yes, it would be far better just to have one way rather than a downvote. And here's Louise, just when I think I have got more news. Do hang around. Good morning. Just popping in after your LinkedIn Live. Great to have you here, Louise. Thank you. We have got more news. Let's see what it is.
Hi, I'm Catherine Mason and you're watching Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb.
How do you get more people to use a new product that you are launching? That's something I think TikTok have been thinking about because, as you may know, they are playing with the concept of shopping via live streaming. They've done some tests with some large retailers like Walmart, and it's something that they are looking to expand into the future. And as part of that, I think they have just upgraded their live streaming tools. So live streaming was pretty basic on TikTok, but not anymore. Some of the things that they are doing is, firstly, you will be able to set up a TikTok event to promote your live stream in advance. I suppose a bit like we do on Facebook and YouTube already. You'll set this up, people will be able to RSVP, they will get a reminder when you're about to go live, which means you should be able to get more live viewers. That should work well for you. The second thing that they're looking at, going the wrong way, is a live Q&A session. So this looks like some sort of special comment that people will be able to leave as a question that you'll be able to feature up on a screen, like I do during this show, and they will be able to answer directly. Some of the other features they're adding are go live with someone else. This doesn't explain how many people, but it looks like it's going to be a bit like Instagram. So if you decide to go live with a guest, that guest and you, both of the followers of both of you, will get a notification about the live stream, and probably most importantly, although not an issue I have here, is that you'll be able to appoint a moderator, a comment moderator. So if you're preparing a big live stream, you'll be able to get one of your friends in to moderate the comments, bat away those unuseful comments and the trolls to make it a lot safer space for people to participate in. So why are they doing all this? Well, one is, it's a good update in a way. It's good to update their live streaming tool. But I think it's all down to this shopping. If they can get more people live streaming, that gives more venues for people to host the live shopping tool. It also means more TikTok users will actually tune into lives, because I don't know about you, I just scroll through the feed and look at the short videos. That's all I do. So it's defining itself as more of a live streaming platform. So when they launch this shopping, everyone will be primed and ready. Good morning, Ginny. Ginny. Discuss use for hosting comments on podcasts uses up and down votes. So perhaps Twitter are borrowing from that idea. I think Reddit were doing it way before that. And we're also seeing it happening in Facebook groups. Just one note on Discuss. They recently changed their policy so that unless you pay for Discuss, they run ads on your website. I recently got rid of it just to keep an eye out for that if you are using the free version. This is Making, the FOMO creator. TikTok live streaming shopping sounds like competition to Amazon Live. Exciting times ahead, and for some reason I'm more disposed to TikTok live stream shopping. We're going to see it on YouTube soon as well than I am to Amazon, and I actually couldn't tell you why. Woo. Before I get on to the last story, just a reminder, at 10:30 a.m. on Twitter, you will see a pinned tweet on my Twitter account. I am hosting a live space with Mei King Zhang where we will talk about these stories in more depth, and you are welcome to come along and tell us what you think. So don't forget that at 10:30. And now you're going to find out why I was asking you about your voice.
Hi, I'm Lee from Wellshot, and you're watching The Digital Coffee with Amanda Webb. Cheers.
Let me ask you something. Have you been reluctant to get on board with the new whole audio live streaming thing because you hate the sound of your voice and you're worried that other people will judge you because of it? Well, apparently this is the thing. Apparently that's one of the reasons that people don't want to join an audio chat. So Twitter have come up with a weird answer to this. It is, I thought I had a little thing, but I don't. It is a voice changer. I'm going to call it voice filters. And what voice filters will do is, at the moment, it looks like the ones they're working on are all kind of comedy voices. So you'll be able to be high pitched or low pitched. There's a few others there, completely changing your voice. And this is fun. I think this is fun. This would be fun for if you want to have a crazy conversation on Twitter. You could change your voice and join in. I did find it a little bit hard to understand what was being said in the demo that they played. So maybe they need to work on this. But I do worry. We know that filters on our faces have been both good and bad. They've been good because they're fun. You had the doggy ears, you stick out your tongue, a big tongue comes out. You could vomit rainbows. That was, I think, the first one on Snapchat. And, I think they were fun to start with. And then, they became a little bit worrying. There were ways you can make yourself look thinner or different. And it started messing with people's self-esteem. And we know there's been massive problems with that. So, and they've got better. So I don't have to have a mad vomit of a rainbow anymore. I can just add some makeup using it, which that's a filter I have used from time to time. Will the same happen on voice filters? Will people suddenly be ashamed of their own voices and worry that they're not good enough anymore? So although I think it's fun and I think it'd be a great way to be more inclusive and get more people into audio spaces, I do worry that it's going to affect people's self-esteem. And that was why I was asking you what you thought of your voice. Would you use a voice changer? Val says, I'd love to change my accent. I get abuse on TikTok because of it. Val, like myself, is English, living in Ireland. And yes, from time to time, I get abused because I'm English living in Ireland. I think it's just one of the things we have to live with, sadly. And yes, like you, I've wondered, how can I sound more Irish? Could I go to Irish accent lessons or something to make it change? So I totally empathise with you there. So a voice changer that changes our accent to Irish. Would I do it? I still probably wouldn't. And let's just say, screw those people who have a problem with us, because we're good people. So that. Okay, that is all the digital marketing news for this week. I'm going to put my iPad down and remember to correctly press all the buttons this week. I will be back. Don't forget, on Twitter at 10:30 a.m. Join myself and Making Zhang. I want to hear your voices. Val, English accents are welcome, because most of us that join that chat are English anyway. So there you go. Irish accents, all accents are completely welcome. And I will see you, if you don't join in them, same bat time, same bat place next week. Until then, bye-bye.